Wow, it's been a long minute since my last stream. But we are back in the house. Had all kinds of computer issues that are now worked out. I think maybe a few more might show up later. But for the meantime, I think we're pretty good. Get back into this Shadowrun. Last time we left off, we had to take the Shadowrunners underground for the Madam of Hong Kong. Working on the Wampoan. We finished the Wampoan story, or we're still working on it, maybe. I gotta admit, I kind of forgot. Yo. But anyway, we should still be pretty good. Everything seems to be running pretty smoothly. Took me a minute to figure out everything all over again. My setups and stuff. It says I still need to confront the Wampoan elders, so I'm gonna do that. I thought I did it. But it seems I haven't. So we're gonna go confront the elders, which they should be. Down here. That's where we gotta come. I swore I did this already. Go to Ing. As you approach, Elder Ing's eyes widen, her mouth falls open, and the veins on her neck bulge. What are you doing? You brought this thing into our home. Quick, kill it before it kills us. Porter Lamb. Porter hefts his pistol warily, but does not aim it at anyone. Yeah, I have to say, this isn't a good idea. Why the hell is a ghoul in here? Alright, you know what? I think I was supposed to go underground before confronting the elders. Calm yourselves, I'm not an it, and your elders know this intimately. Gaichu bares his teeth in a rictus grin as he turns to face Ing. Good evening, Elder Ning. I can smell your fear, and I'm glad of this. It means you are learning the price of betrayal. Whoa. What the hell is going on here? Can someone explain to me why the ghoul is talking? Gaichu had a contract with the elders and they betrayed him. The elders have been lying to the rest of the Wampoins. Gaichu had a contract with the elders and they betrayed him. You dare accuse us of conspiring with a monster and covering it up? You're insane. The very idea is preposterous. Porter nods at the elders, looking back to you with a wary expression. I'm interested to hear what kind of evidence you have to support this theory. The Wyatt Arrett. As far as I can tell, this monster killed Tong and the others, and that makes him a threat that should be eliminated. The elders hired Gaichu to kill Elder Magpie and make it look like she disappeared. They died because they betrayed Gaichu rather than pay him for the killing of Elder Magpie. I think we go with that one. They died because they betrayed Gaichu rather than pay him for the killing of Elder Magpie. You believe this, vermin? This creature that feasts on meta-human flesh? You are a naive and foolish man if that's the case. Ing spits on the ground in front of Gaichu. What proof do you have that Magpie is dead? Ing, please. In matters where an elder is accused of breaking our law, the other elders generally judge them. In matters where all of them have been accused, I am authorized to act as a judge. Make your case, Shadowrunner. We'll start with, she hasn't been seen in a month. Not by anyone. She wouldn't just disappear like that. That may be unlikely, but it's hardly impossible. You haven't established that the elders were involved. All you have done is make suppositions about it. What about the fight with Hong Kong police force? How do you mean? What does that have to do with the elders and the ghoul? You Wampons don't allow police inside the area. Why make an exception this time? The police were polite, and they asked our permission to enter. They were hunting a non-Wampo. That was reason enough for us to allow them in. Porter considers this for a moment and then shakes his head. That doesn't add up, Ing. Why would police ask us for entry now? They've never been polite before, and they've always tried to force their way in here. It just doesn't ring true to me. Did you ask them to come in order to hunt down this ghoul? Preposterous. Porter, you know what our community is like. We wouldn't lie over something like this. This ghoul has been lying the entire time, trying to cover his tracks. He's still brutally murdered several elders. That's true. Those murders were vicious and cruel. Porter fixes you with a hard stare. I don't see any way to explain that away. This ghoul is a monster for how he killed Tong and the others. Tong's body was a mess, true, but he died quickly from a sword blow to the neck. I'm gonna go with the scene of Tong's murder. Like the others, was a deliberate sham. It was made to look more horrific than it was. I believe you. The blood smeared on the walls, the removal of his skin. That's a scene designed to evoke horror, not the scene of an actual fight. Elders, what do you have to say in response? This is a farce. We have dedicated ourselves to protecting the Wampoin tribe and everyone who lives in Wampoin Garden. Do you really believe outsiders and monsters over our word? We who have only tried to end the killings? You've been duped, Porter. You and this Shadowrunner. I concur. Porter, you know me. You know the kind of person I am. I wouldn't be party to the killing of another elder. I can't believe we're even entertaining the notion that we have to defend ourselves. We should be disposing of this ghoul instead. Narrows his eyes at you, hissing. If you think I'll forget this, you're sorely mistaken. I will not tolerate this kind of insult. The elders were all too happy to have the red spears move into the garage, almost like they wanted to keep anyone curious about the fight away. Magpie's gear was missing, obviously missing. Why didn't Ib tell me that? He would have had to have noticed, and Magpie's shop is locked up. Why didn't he want me investigating? Pure supposition. You think it proves something that I didn't notice equipment was missing? Magpie's shop is always a horrible mess. Tong, you did a full inventory of Magpie's Matrix servers. You assured us everything was running fine and you would be able to continue her work. Find it hard to believe you missed something as obvious as missing equipment, especially while searching her stock. The elders were all too happy to have the red spears move into the garage, almost like they wanted to keep anyone curious about the fight away. That's right. You even told me not to go find out what happened with the fight. You said the red spear gangers were moving in and to leave them alone. Why would you tell me not to look into it? I was only trying to protect you from the red spears. They are dangerous, which is why I wanted to deal with them directly. That's all I've got. All right, I think I have some idea of what's going on here. And what do you believe the real story is? It's obvious to me that you've done only a minimal amount of investigation. What's more, you've made a mockery of our request to eliminate a dangerous killer, and he's completely fooled you. How could you be duped by such a flimsy story and believe such a dangerous creature is beyond me? Thank you, Porter. You disappoint me, the White Art. You're obviously a fool and a poor choice for hard help. Regret ever contracting me. Did I fail this quest? Very well. In order to protect the Wampoin tribe, I sentenced this ghoul to death. I also sentenced the Shadowrunner to die as well. As such, a dangerous individual who is easily swayed could one day turn against us. Now, wait just a minute. Porter, do as you're ordered. We are your elders. With that, it raises his weapon. I'm not going to do this fight. I'm going to load game. And we're going to proceed to go underground as originally decided. They're trying to put me to death, man. Get out of here. Oh, wait. I I guess I already did the underground section, huh? Oh yeah, I already did the underground. But where's the parking garage? Where is the parking garage? It looks like well, it looks like we were supposed to go underground anyway. I don't know how I missed the parking garage. Maybe I shouldn't have say again. I'm not going to run through all of this. I'm not going to read everything again, so I'm just going to run through really quick. The elders have been lying to the rest of the 1 points. What proof do you have that Magpie is dead? Large amount of blood in her shower drain. Found Magpie's necklace in the storm drains. This is definitely older Magpies. If you found it in the storm drain, that's suspicious, but hardly proof on its own. She hasn't been seen in a month. What about the fight with the Hong Kong police? You guys don't allow the police. Did my game crash? Posturous. We'll go with that. You and this Shadowrunner. Those are all too happy to have the red spirits. The waters are muddy in this matter. The ghoul seems to be telling some of the truth, and I respect that. But the fact remains, he is a dangerous creature who killed many of our number. Our law is clear on this. He must die. You seem to be blameless in this, Wyatt Arrett. What do you say to this decision? I'm not going to let you kill Gaichu. Then you too must die. Yep. All right. Looks like we got to fight anyway. This is going to be a short stream, so after this battle, I'm going to go ahead and end it. And these guys are all right here. Need to get to some cover. Miss Duncan. This is the ghoul. That's not good. Shouldn't have put the ghoul over there. I don't have my drone. I don't have my drone, man. That's the problem. Heavy cover. That's a problem, man. I don't have my drone. Okay. that's one down. Damage on this guy. Come on, son. One damage. And cut that dude down. Blocked. Cancel. Gotta reload. How did you miss? Kill this guy, man. Reload. My turn, biatch. Kneecap. Damage. Shotgun is nice. Grenade launcher. I hit my own man. That's not good. As the elders fall to the floor, you stop and survey the carnage around you. It is accomplished. No more betrayers alive. No more worry that others may think they can take advantage of me. Either way, I look forward to our new business partnership. Nothing there. Gaichu is in my crew now. But I wonder, where was the parking garage? Do a quick scan of this area again. Spin him. Ah, now the parking garage is open. Okay. Now that says MTR station, not necessarily the parking garage. But anyway, let's get out of here. Go ahead and get on the train. And so you're about to leave this location and return to Hawaii. I guess the train station was in Hawaii. I mean, the parking garage is in Hawaii. Hawaii. All right. I'm going to go have some dinner. Just glad to be able to stream again after such a long hiatus. It's kind of cold tonight. But I'd appreciate if you like and subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in these kind of games. You know what they say. Your likes and subscribes help me. Kindly vouch for me. You just idle your engine there for a minute and I'll check on that. There's a long silence on the intercom. The door gives several heavy metallic clicks. There's a dull rumble like heavy bolts sliding back. A green light flashes on the terminal. The door appears to be unlocked. You can enter the clinic. This guy's called the Tin Arm Ambrose. The clinic looks like it's just hosted a party. Spindly mechanical arms swing from unobtrusive wall mounts, pulling down crepe paper ribbons and scooping food platters and empty beer bottles into biohazard bags. A severely crippled Caucasian man sits in a wheelchair amidst the maelstrom of mess and robotics. He's in his 40s, thick beard, tungsten earrings, beer belly, one cyber eye. Both his legs are missing, one at the hip, the other at the knee. He has only one arm, and only 3 fingers remain on his surviving hand. His face and arms show the scars of a reconstructive surgery. He grins widely at you with bloodshot eyes. He's clearly hungover. Tin Arm Ambrose. Hey, I'm Ambrose. He shouts cheerfully in English, his words piling together in a loose Midwestern accent. They call me Tin Arms. Welcome to the Kong, fellow Eucassian. He chuckles, his chest shaking with mirth. A Waldo arm springs to life and swings over to him. Its menacing metal pincer momentarily sets a cigarette between his lips, just long enough for him to inhale from it. Kindly says, "You're all right. What can I do for you?" "You're a doctor?" "Sure I am. I'm a rigger doctor." "A rockter. Ha 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 ha." Ambrose bursts into laughter, then stops and clutches his head. "Oh man, I can't laugh hard today. Too much partying last night. It hurts." "I'm not board certified, but don't worry, I should be. I'm full on skilled. My work's Yellow Lotus guaranteed and precisely in accordance with World Medical Association standards. Everybody in Hillary comes to me because I'm the only option." "I guess that makes you my only option too." "Hey, beggars can't be choosers, right? Don't worry. I take care of people here real good." Show me your services." "Sure thing. Tune-up or spare parts." Medical supplies." I don't really have that much money. All right. Goodbye, Ambrose. Time for me to go. Cheers. Goodbye. All right. Talk to you later. This electro furnace room has been built out as a medical clinic and a machine shop. The air is alive with the rumble of furnaces and the hum of cooling fans. It's sweltering. The front area is more like a homey coffee house than a clinic lobby. Comfortable old furniture, used digipads, coloring books. The wall opposite the boilers is cluttered with a mixture of photos and prints. Local artists' work. Images of military vehicles, off-road racing, Rube Goldberg machines. Personal photos, old-time Chicago gangsters, the Desert Wars Motorized Combat Division. Glance around the clinic space. The work area looks more like a machine shop than a medical theater. A robot table and a hydraulic lift supporting a partly disassembled V8 engine occupy places of equal importance against the north and south walls. Prosthetic limbs are racked overhead like machine parts. A heavy lift hoist is clamped to an I-beam. An impressive home-built computer sits against the far wall. Several bulkier towers sit under the desk, fans whirring. It looks more like a sysadmin Decker server station than a doctor's terminal. Let's inspect the personal photos. The pictures are mostly of Hawaii residents, holidays, and parties. 10 armed Ambroses in many of them. Look away. Let's get out of here. Forgot where the mission computer is. Where's the boat that I live on? All right, I'm not going to spend too much time exploring right now. But I'm going to call it a night. Peace 5 times, love times 9. Appreciate all those who came through. Felt good to be back streaming again, playing some games. I haven't played any games in a minute. Hopefully I can keep up the routine. But for now, what we're gonna do is we'll have some dinner and call it a night. Hope to see you again. Cheers. Peace and love. I am out. Thanks for watching. His jeans and now I'm covered.